Good morning, welcome to Greenwood Bonsai. It's just coming into a busy time of year for us now in late January. We're just about to start our repotting schedule of repotting larch and things like that. So we've got a couple of larch trees over the side in the studio that are here just waiting to be repotted. We've just come out of a bit of a cold snap, getting like -3, -5s at night for about a week. But now it's like 9-10 degrees during the day. So we're going to start on repotting, but we've just had delivery of trees arrive yesterday, primarily Japanese maples and some junipers and some Japanese black pines. So my job this morning is working my way through the pines. We've got an assortment of about 20-year-old Japanese black pines. I'm just going to show you what we're doing to them. This is as they come in, as I've bought them like this. They're about 20-year-old, partly field grown, and they've been in these containers, I would estimate, for about a year. And the next stage of development as we see it for these is to reduce the needles back, to take out some of the buds and branches that we don't need, to take them out of these crates and get them into training bonsai pots. So I'm just going to show you a little procedure of what I'm doing today with them. There's a couple lingering around that I've already done, but I thought we'd show you from scratch with one of these. So as I said, they're in these crates that aren't really very aesthetically pleasing for them. So the first thing to do is to take it out of that. Move it out of the way. Now, these are quite shaggy, long needles because they're putting a lot of growth on in the field. And over the next couple of years, we can reduce the length of these needles quite significantly, get them about half this size. So at this stage, we could quite easily put these out for sale like this in these crates, but it's not the preferred way we do things here at Greenwood. I'd like to do just a little bit of work on these, just to elevate them, take them to the next stage of development, so that we can offer them as a better product to our customers. So it's only like a short amount of work on these, but what we're going in initially and taking each growth of needles and just shortening them back. Now obviously trimming needles on pines is a contentious issue, yeah, but we're doing it here so we can let more light into the tree. It's not something I would do on a specimen or finished tree, but at the stage of development these are at, it's worth doing. This little shoot here can come off, and I'm just shortening these back, try and tidy it up a little bit, so growth that's sort of hanging down too much, these needles that are too long, this is growing up a bit too much, and then we can shorten this back to here, and you're just pulling out each rosette of needle. And a little bit of this we can do some thinning out of any buds that are growing down too much, and just work our way around, just trying to get these a bit more organised. These low branches here, the way this tree's been styled, this is a most obvious front for this tree, but these low branches aren't really giving it much. So let's get in and remove that one, this one, take this stub back here. Tidy this up a little bit just here, and this little section. Just trim this back round this side. And I think once we've done this procedure, for a lot of people that are potentially going to buy these trees, you know, these are like they're part trained trees, so they're not a finished bonsai as such. But we've got a lot of people that would like to buy these so they can put their own stamp on it, their own design on it. But if we offer them in that sort of raw, sort of shaggy state that they were in, that this one was in before, some people, that's too much for them to tackle. So if we do this sort of trimming to them, we've got a lot of customers that will sort of be more willing to buy them, because it's sort of, they can sort of see the wood for the trees a little bit more, and they can decide what they can do. So for the sake of me sort of spending 10 minutes working with them, it makes quite a bit of difference. It's easier when we've got a batch of these again, it's easier for customers to select from them if this work's being done, because they can quite clearly see the structure of the tree a bit better, like I say, and then they can decide. Some of these tips here, there's 2 or 3 buds and there's 1 large bud, so we can take that large bud out there, we can cut it back or twist it off. Yeah, same with here, there's small buds and a big one. We can just roll that big one off, keep the smaller ones. As we get up here into the top of the tree, just trim out some of this heavy growth. This is where all the vigour is on this tree, so be sure to shorten these back. Like that. Just take this one here off. Trim a few little stubs off there. Back around this side, this one's a bit long. We can take that big bud out there, just roll that out, shorten the rest of these needles. You'll get a bit of browning on the tips of these needles, so it's not a big issue. The new ones that will come out, that we'll send out this year, will be fine, they'll be smaller. So then once they're out, we can take these old needles off, so it won't really have much effect on the tree. It'll momentarily make them go brown on the tips until we remove them in due course anyway. So just shorten these back here, a little bit here. Can you see it sort of taking shape a little bit more? So we've got a few of these. They'll be going. They're going out on the website. Obviously, we can only send these to viewers and enthusiasts in the UK. But if you're in the UK and you fancy one of these Japanese black pines to do some work with, and just do a search for Japanese black pine on the website, and there'll be a few on there if you want to grab yourself one. So now we've done that sort of work, there's a couple of little tidying up jobs to do. Little stumps in here. This piece here I don't want. This stub here just wants taking back. We'll just carve that off. And here, where it's been cut back before, we could probably just carve this lump out there, make it look a little bit better. So we'll just address that, won't take a minute. So, as I said before with these, when this work I'm doing to it, it's a bit sort of striking the balance of like doing a little bit to help the new owner out, but not doing too much. So I don't want to overwork the tree, but if it's something that just takes a few minutes, then it's worth doing. If it gives the tree a bit more direction, just put some lac balsam wound sealant on these cuts that we've made, just to hide them and to promote healing. So once we've done that, let's have a little look at the roots. So we can just work our way around with a root hook up, scraping out into the bin. Now these are in quite a sort of peaty compost, if you like, really. They have come from a warmer climate, so they'll grow in this compost so that they can retain quite a lot of water. Now, in the UK, with it being a much wetter climate, if we grow them in this, they'll get too soggy and too wet. So I'm going to pot them into a more granular compost that will retain less moisture. And again, that's an important factor in offering these trees for sale, because if we'd bought them in and we'd literally just stuck a price tag on and sold them, you'd be buying them in this compost, which potentially will lead to issues in this climate. Once we've tickled around now a little bit, we can use a saw just to take a section of the root off. So just tip it on its side. Like so, take a slice off the bottom like that, and then we should be able to use some Greenwood scissors They're quite strong scissors. Always use them for root work, just to tidy up some of these little roots we don't need here, and then just tidy up around the edge. Good time of year for doing this sort of work, so we don't have to be too apprehensive about root work at this time of year. Just get rid of some of this weight just here. Trim this off like that. A little bit more off the deck. Have a look at getting them potted. We'll put them into these shallow plastic bonsai pots for now, just to make them more sensible and saleable. A few different places. Put this into this one. A couple of ones I've done have gone in that smaller pot, but this is this tree is slightly larger, so I think we'll get it potted into this one like that. Just quickly show you how to do that. So we're going to wire it in. We'll just use a bit of 2.5mm wire to wire it in. We'll bring it over here to the potting area, where we've got a mixture of about 30% Akadama, 30% Kiryazuna, and 30% pumice, but that's only 90%, isn't it? So we've got equal part, 3-part mix then. So that's 33.33% Akadama, 33.33% Kiryu, and 33.33% pumice. But it's quite an open mixture. It's going to give us the drainage that we need, that these pines need in the UK. Pop some of that in the bottom, and we just grab our tree. A bit more of that, and then settle the tree down onto that. I say we've not overworked the tree, but we've just got it to the next sort of stage of development. So any prospective buyers can see a bit more clearly the shape and understand the next things to do with the tree to grow the branches out and potentially get some wire on them either later this year or next year. I'll just bring that wire, just slide it, bring it across the back of the tree, bring this one to meet it, just twist that over like that, just to make it nice and secure. Push that end underneath the soil, and there we've got, from that original sort of shaggy mess, we've now got Japanese black pine, just a bit more organised. We'll put some shorter needles out this year. We start to develop the branches, and I'm sure the new owner will be quite happy with having one of these as a part trained tree, putting their own mark onto it over the next few years, and then in sort of 2 or 3 years time you can see it being put on into a ceramic bonsai pot and then growing on from there. So next thing is to take it out, try and give it a water. There's another one here that we've done, look. I've just got to pot that one up. It just shows you a slightly smaller tree, same age, nice movement in the trunk, quite a strong base to it. So I hope you just enjoy this little video on Japanese black pines. I'm going to continue to get the rest of this batch done. If you're interested, check them out on the website. And then tomorrow I'm going to be working on some of the Japanese maples from this batch of trees. So we've got a busy time ahead of us. Thank you for watching, and take care.